Some of the most influential people I've worked with are quiet by nature. They're not loud, they're not performative. Their quiet isn't seen as a weakness. It's seen as thoughtful, measured, intentional. It's not mistaken for disinterest or distance. And that's what we're going to get into today. Hi, and welcome back to Awfully Quiet. This show is for people with loud career ambitions who are more quiet and introspective by nature. If you've been here the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about why quiet so often gets misread at work and what that misreading quietly costs you over time. Today is a little bit of a pivot because once you see that quiet isn't the problem, it's the assumptions people make. The next question becomes, when does quiet actually start working for you? And this isn't about just embracing quiet a little harder. It's about what actually needs to change. So your quiet stops being misunderstood and starts being taken seriously at work. Before we get into it, I want to let you in on something. My quiet ambition for this show. Because I am not here trying to make you louder. I am trying to change the way your quiet is being understood at work. I want this to start changing your reality and eventually work culture. But in order for that to happen, it has to travel. If this idea is going to matter, it needs to reach the people it is for. So if an episode like this ever makes something click for you, please follow the show, rate it 5 stars, and pass it on to somebody who could benefit from listening to it too. That is how this work starts to make a difference, quietly. Now, the first thing I want to land here is that quiet isn't automatically an advantage. And this is where a lot of career advice for introverts just doesn't help. Because if you're quiet, you're being told one of two things. Either that your quiet is the problem and that you need to speak up more, be more confident, be more visible. Or you're being told the exact opposite, that your quiet is a strength. It's a superpower. And if you only embrace that superpower hard enough, things will fall into place. Now, in reality, neither of the two really hold up. Because your quiet isn't automatically an advantage, but it is also not a flaw either. It is your way of processing, your way of paying attention. It's your way of engaging with the world. And the part that actually matters isn't that you're quiet. It's what other people make of it. It's not about becoming louder. It is not about waiting to be discovered. It's about taking responsibility for what your quiet means to other people. So what does this actually look like? You can put 2 quiet people in the same organization, same level, same ability, same ambition, and watch their careers unfold very differently. One person gets trusted, pulled into bigger rooms, given more scope. The other one stays reliable, valued, but quietly overlooked. And this is usually where the self-doubt starts. Because from the inside, it doesn't feel different at all. They're both thinking, they're both paying attention, they're both quietly tracking what matters. The difference is from the outside. One person thinking gets read as thoughtful. The other person thinking gets read as uninterested and disengaged. And the mistake that person makes is assuming their thinking is obvious, but it isn't. And that is the real shift. Quiet starts working when people can see what's going on in your head. Nothing about how you work needs to change. You are still listening, still thinking, you're still not loud. What changes is that people can now see what your quiet is doing. When people understand what you're paying attention to, how you judge situations, what your involvement usually leads to, they stop guessing. Your quiet doesn't feel distant anymore. It feels deliberate. It doesn't need explaining anymore because your thinking is visible. That is the moment quiet turns credible. When people don't ask why you're quiet anymore and start knowing what you bring, what your quiet unlocks. So if there is one thing that I want you to take away from this episode, it's that quiet doesn't decide how far you go. What decides it is what your quiet ends up meaning to other people. When quiet gets read as absence, it stalls you. When it gets read as thoughtfulness, judgment, direction, it starts working very differently. And that shift doesn't happen by being louder. It happens when you stop treating your quiet as a personality trait and start treating it as part of how you work. That is the shift this episode is really about. And in the next episode, I want to get very concrete about that. I'll walk you through the 4 different moves that help you turn your quiet thinking into something that people can recognize, rely on, and trust. See you there.